MicRig, and I'm the niece of Raul Rivera. Thank you for being in community with us. I'd like to talk a little bit about what happened to Raul and why we are coming here together. So on May 27th, right here in this intersection, my uncle was experiencing a severe emotional distress when he first interacted with Border Patrol, who stopped him on here on this intersection of Tacayo and Hollister. Border Patrol then called STPD, and in a matter of 15 minutes, this complete intersection from post to post was... hello?
Uh-oh, did it unplug?
It's fine. From post to post, they were completely surrounded by police officers. There was close to 30 police officers here on the scene and about 10 to 15 Border Patrol agents. It took less than 15 minutes for 3 officers to shoot and kill Raul Rivera. They shot him over 20 times and they continued to shoot his body once he had fallen. And once he was fallen, they handcuffed his unmoving body. It took 15 to 20 minutes for ambulance to arrive. When they arrived, he was already deceased. My uncle laid right here in this intersection for 12 hours until the next morning.
Right on the arrow.
So, hours prior to my uncle being killed here in this intersection, he was attempting to commit suicide on Saturn Boulevard. A concerned citizen called police, and when STPD arrived, they convinced him to talk to him, but they ultimately let him walk away. They did not take him in for a psychological observation or notify the family. My uncle was met with extreme violence and neglect. So we're not only out here demanding justice for him, but what happened to Raul is not an isolated act of violence. It's a systematic act of violence that overwhelmingly impacts people of color and it impacts various marginalized communities. So we're not only, we want all underrepresented communities to live a life free of violence from the police. We deserve to experience joy with our family members, to get proper help, and not for them to be criminalized or to be executed on the street. Okay, we deserve much better than this. So I appreciate everybody for coming. There are also other families and grassroots organizers that are going to speak at the rally here today. And we'll be marching from here from the memorial site to 27th Street Police Station. So here in this memorial site, I really want to point out how wonderful and amazing the community here has been to us. They created this cross and these signs out here that you see here today. There were several families and witnesses that saw Raul be killed by the police, and some of them are out here today. They didn't know Raul's name, and they know that he was worthy of a name, so they gave him a name on the cross. Because he was a person that was worthy of existing and worthy of dignity, and not the way the police treated him. So we come here to collectively tell our truths and the stories that have continued to happen to our communities. Police may have killed my uncle, but they can never kill his truth, his story, or his voice. Me and my family are now his voice.
Right.
Thank you. So.
My name is Flora Chelsea Rivera. I am sister of Raul Rivera and his godmother. This is my brother. Louis, can you come stand with me, please? This is our other brother, Louis Rivera. Thank you so much, all of you, to come out here and walk with us and send this very strong message that, first of all, San Diego, step out of your comfort zone, step out of your horrible ways of handling things, and try to set a precedent, and because we cannot continue shooting citizens. And like my daughter said, in a matter of less than 15 minutes, 12 minutes, my brother was shot right there where that arrow is, and I always have a huge drive just to lay on that arrow for a while, because that's where his body laid. That's where his body was. He was riddled with bullets, and that's where his body laid. And I really want to acknowledge Tiger and his wife Andrea. Where are you?
They're in the back.
And his wife Andrea. They lived right here on this corner, and they witnessed everything, and they have been harassed in so many ways. I'm sure they'll be glad to share their story with you. And I really appreciate everybody comes here and focuses here, and Tiger and his wife have taken care of this little spot and cleaned it up, and there's other people in the community. But the other day we did experience some people not being very friendly in this community. So what I like to say, like those of you that are here, this is in your heart. You are the compassionate people that we want walking with us. We don't need anybody hating and throwing ugly things in our faces. There's nothing worse than to lose a family member like that. Just like the Alongo family that are here, they too are suffering through the same thing. And there's other families. There's the McNeil family from National City. We have gone to the city council meetings as well. And it's a long haul, folks, but it starts like this. It starts right here. But a few people, then more people, because the message needs to be received. You can no longer continue. Stop killing and shooting and riddling innocent people that are crying for help.
Yes.
What bigger message could any one of these victims have sent in those dying moments as a cry for help? And the way of responding is to shoot them down. That's not the way. And that's not the way any one of us here in San Diego want to continue to live in that fashion. So from the bottom of my heart, and I made 3 signs, and mine are all full of questions. If any one of you would be so kind and carry my signs, I would really appreciate it. We have drinks for everybody, and we have more. I don't want anybody going thirsty, because the love and the energy that you're sharing right now is bigger than I could have imagined. And I thank you for coming. Did you want to say something?
I'd like to introduce Kat from United Against Police Terror to go over safety rules and what they do as a grassroots org. And then after that, we're gonna go. Myself and some friends handed out call and response sheets so that we can practice together as a group of what we'll be saying, and then we'll get started with our march.
My name is Kat. I film cops. Actually, I have an update for all of you. We just got notified by cop watchers via satellite that there are 10 units and 10 motorcycles on standby for us right now. The most important thing that you remember, obviously, do not talk to them. I do not answer questions. Am I free to go? Very brief. If you do have an officer in front of you, if you are filming, please ask them for their name and badge. It is the standard policy of SDPD Manual 9 Section 19 that an officer must identify themselves. If they don't, make a note of that. If you're able to see their badges, numbers, please shout it out on the stream. Everybody doing that can make a huge difference as far as safety. We do track when officers are in our community right now. Unfortunately, the only information that we're given out by media, and as you know, mainstream media can be very limiting as to what they disclose, and it can also twist stories. So we're pretty much acting as kind of like the people's journalists, community journalists. So filming police, making sure that everybody is safe, de-escalating the situation, documenting people killed by police, which that's all the databases that we carry. That's free and for the public. If you go to our website, right now I think we're coming close to about 900 countywide, and we're going back to the 1950s. So this is as Bree was saying, this is a systemic issue. We do have all officer databases available on the website in case you want to research if they have brutalized or killed somebody that has reached media. Something that I did want to mention. So for November, is it okay if I talk about it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So for November, obviously there's a couple of bills coming up, and we're at an age where we have to use whatever we got at every angle. Senate Bill 1421 is a right to know. And what will it do is it will make a police officer's misconduct history transparent. Right now, we're counting on media, but as you know, we can't count on it. So, please vote. Please vote for that proposition. Please vote for 931. There's also other propositions. November is going to be huge as far as police accountability. You know, I know that voting won't completely save us. It's a tactic. It's a tactic. So, and from what I've read, very helpful for the work that we do. So again, Senate Bill 1421, Right to Know. I know Bree has handouts regarding all of the bills that are going to be voted on. So I really appreciate that because we want transparency. Obviously, you know, with filming police, it's our protests, peaceful protests, solidarity, love, and resistance. For UAPT, we chose to be on the defense, because that's what I'm going to be requesting for everybody, to be on the defense, listen to each other. I do see white allies in the crowd. Please use your privilege to be on the perimeters of the march with your your phones, which is also your cameras. Please listen to each other as far as people that may need people to slow down, because that's usually an issue, but we're close and tight. I think everybody knows everyone pretty much. So this is going to be great. I do want to say, unfortunately, the family of Sergio Week could not be here today. Something very important is happening tomorrow. They got to save gas. So they did request if there be individuals that could carry their banner in spirit. I'm also asking you to hold the following names in your heart for this day too. Mark Carrasco, which was killed by SDPD. Simon Hubble, SD Sheriffs. Thong Soon Velocine, SDPD. Carlos Sanchez, Chula Vista PD. And Victor Ortega, which is SDPD. So hold them to your heart. They are, you know, incredible families that are pretty much doing their own investigations as to what happened. So, and they really should be the face as far as any kind of police reform. All families first, families on the mic, families centered. So, gotta do.
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
No justice!
No peace!
No racist!
Police!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera!
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera!
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if
what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
I said, hey, hey, ho, ho.
Racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
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 Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The people united.
Will never be defeated.
The people united.
Will never be defeated.
The people united.
Will never be defeated.
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 If we don't get no justice,
Then they don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
Then they don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
Then they don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
Then they don't get no peace.
the people united.
Will never be defeated.
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 When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
whose streets?
Our streets.
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 Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
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 People of color have the right to
Exist.
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 What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got to go.
hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got to go.
hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got to go.
hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got to go.
no justice, no racist police, hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got to go.
hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got to go.
hey, hey, ho, ho,
These racist cops have got what America looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The people united
We'll never be defeated.
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 Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
I said, hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if they don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
Who are we demanding justice for? Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
Who are we demanding justice for?
Raul Rivera.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people of color are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The people united.
We'll never be defeated.
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 Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
These racist cops have got to go.
These racist cops have got to go.
These racist cops have got to go.
We don't get it.
Shut it down.
We don't get it.
Shut it down.
We don't get it.
Shut it down.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist. Police. If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
who are demanding justice for?
Raul
intersection of Hollister and Tecayo Avenue in South Bay, San Diego. Hours prior to Raul being murdered, a community member called 911 to report him as a jumper when he was positioning himself at an overpass near Saturn Boulevard. After Raul expressed that he was depressed to officers, they were able to talk him down, but Raul was allowed to walk away without any of his family being notified or being taken in for a psychological observation. As the day progressed, his cry for help was met with extreme violence from San Diego police. Raul was walking near the intersection of Hollister Street and Tecayo Avenue when he was approached by Border Patrol agents who then called SDPD. According to witnesses and multiple videos caught on the scene, there was close to 30 officers that surrounded that intersection. It took less than 15 minutes from moments officers arrived on the scene for 3 officers, William Carter Torres, Michael Martinez, and Samuel Rodriguez, to murder Raul Rivera. Officers shot Raul over 20 times and continued to shoot him after he had fallen to the ground, and then handcuffed his unmoving body. It took 15 to 20 minutes for paramedics to arrive. Upon arrival, he was already deceased. He remained in that street dead and handcuffed for 12 hours until the next morning. From beginning to end, Raul's humanity was never seen by officers. He was completely dehumanized. Raul always suffered from mental health, and he needed psychological treatment so that he can heal from his wounds and trauma, not to be criminalized or to be executed in the street. What happened to Raul is not an isolated act of violence, but rather a systematic act of violence that has a historical context. It's an act of violence that overwhelmingly impacts people of color. It impacts low-income people of color. It impacts low-income people of color who have a mental illness. It impacts various underrepresented communities. And the more underrepresented identities you have, the more threats of violence you receive, and at times all happening at the same time. We are here to say that our various underrepresented communities are not disposable.
That's right.
That's right.
You don't get to kill us, you don't get to terrorize us, and think that we are not going to get up and fight back. In spite of the pain, we will rise every day and resist your white supremacy and hate.
That's right.
That's right.
These officers killed my uncle, but they can't kill his truth, his voice, or his story.
All right.
Me and my family are now Raul's voice, and we're not going to let anybody silence it. We demand that the prosecution and indictment of the 3 officers who killed Raul Rivera, the officers who interacted with Raul when he was called in as a jumper, be held accountable for negligence. That SDPD releases the official police report and all body cam videos. And lastly, that SDPD provides counseling services to the families and children that witnessed the murder. Here at today's rally, we're not only demanding justice for Raul Rivera, but for all underrepresented communities to live a life free of violence. The families of Earl McNeil, Alfred Alongo, and grassroots organizers from United Against Police Terror will also speak at this rally to share their stories and to demonstrate that what happened to Raul is not an isolated act of violence, but rather a systematic act of violence towards our underrepresented communities. Our next speaker is Raul's sister, Flora.
I have to hold it up. Well, my hands are a little shaky. Hello. What I'm going to share with you is the trauma that I feel as a family member, and along with the other family members that are here go along those. And for the McNeil family that may not be here, and then for these folks, for the weak family here. When someone dies because they're ill, you cry and you will miss them and you grieve for them. But when someone is in your family is shot down and killed, it breaks every piece of you. I personally feel that from being a higher and energetic goer and getter every day of my life, mother of 3, career woman, I stand before you as a broken woman now, with a broken heart. As my daughter shared, and by all of you just walking in this hot sun demonstrating that this type of violence needs to stop. If the signs on the cars and everything say protect and serve, my brother was not protected and certainly not served when he was on that overpass of that freeway. like many other parents and brothers and sisters and loved ones, you go through different types of emotion. The witnesses that saw my brother shot down, we still don't know the accurate count because we don't have the medical examiner's report nor the police report. Sometime in August is what they're saying. We're going to hold them to it, of course. We still have yet to see those body cams. If there was over 20 to 30 officers surrounding my brother, there has to be footage. There has to be footage. I still have the image in my head, and it runs through my head. It runs through my head at least 3 to 4 times a day just by seeing that video that was released on the internet. Though his body, his upper torso was blurred out and you couldn't see his face, I knew it was him because he came into our lives when he was a baby. So my brother Tony, that is not here with us today, present, taught him how to walk, and he always had that little waddle when he ran. So during that video, when he was going in circles, not knowing where to go, all I could see was his feet in that waddle position, just running in circles. I cannot get that image out of my head. And every day when I stand in front of that mirror, trying to be the productive person that I was, I see somebody else. It's hard for me to put on my face and do my hair and walk out like the glam woman that everybody knows me to be, because I can't stop crying to put on that face for everybody else, because I lost part of myself the day my brother was murdered and shot down as if he was being hunted. No one deserves to die that way.
That's right.
So many days I have my mother that lives with me that is 86 years old. My children are brokenhearted to see me like this, because as my daughter always says, Mama, you're the mama bear. Mom, you're the matriarch of this family. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm broken into pieces and I'm just trying to pick them up, along with the families that are present here today. And there's so many other families that don't come to light, but they're out there. They're out there, that somebody that they love has either been beaten up or killed, whether it's one shot. It only takes you one bullet to kill you. Why did my brother have to have over 20 bullets riddled in his body? Where was the crisis counselors? Where was the crisis team? If in less than 15 minutes and 20 to 30 officers were surrounding him, no one had the education nor the training to say, let's defuse this. Let's calm this man down. He's not going anywhere. That wasn't done. So I'm challenging and calling out to every chief of police in this county, every council member, every mayor, every wannabe elected official, step out and do something else. Yes. Set a precedent for San Diego. Nobody even gave a press release for my brother, nor did they for the McNeils. And did they for your family? Did they step out and say, we are investigating this? No, as if it didn't happen. It happened, folks. It happened. And sometimes my first scream, when my brother Louis called me and then the detective called me to tell me what happened, I screamed so loud I threw that phone down. I threw myself on the ground. I rolled on the ground and then I picked up the phone to finish hearing the rest of it. But I can't keep screaming that way every day and scare my poor mother and my neighbors. So I scream a silent scream, and it goes like this. Every day
family of Earl McNeil. Earl McNeil was killed the day before Raul Rivera. He was in the care and custody of National City Police Department, taken to the booking station of the Central Jail Sheriff's Department, and then he was taken to UCSD after he had medical distress and stopped breathing. We've been asking for the same things that the Raul Rivera family has been asking for, and we have not received them. National City, San Diego PD, and the Sheriff's Department need to take the lead that Silver Lake officers did when their bullets actually pierced the body of the manager at Trader Joe's. They not only released the video, they released a statement apologizing for what had happened. We are asking that San Diego County law enforcement, when they do something wrong, that they admit it and they release the video to the public. We think it is an egregious act for police departments all over this county to cover up their actions and be afraid to apologize because they took the actions that they took. We think that this family is not asking for, the Raul Rivera and the Earl McNeil family are not asking for things that can't happen. They're asking for things that should be a part of a law enforcement's policy. It should be a part of a law enforcement's procedures. The family, if not the public, should know every detail of what happened to their loved one. It was their loved one. And we think that these departments are doing an egregious act, and they are causing more trauma to a family they've already traumatized. Martin Luther King once said, "When will America be true to what is said on paper? When will the police department be true to what is said on paper? Serving the public, protecting the law, protecting us. When you do something wrong, you need to reconcile and atone for it. And if you do not, then we will keep coming. We not only will keep coming, we will hit you from all sides." So we stand with the Raul Rivera family, that stands with the Earl McNeil family, that stands with the Alongo family, that stands with the Sergio Wick family and the Jonathan Cornell family. And there are so many, many more families. We ask them to continue to stand and continue to fight, and that we need policies and procedures changed. We are tired. There are laws that are being created for things that should already be a part of their policy and procedures. We should not have to create laws that say it's a federal crime to lynch us. We should not have to create laws that call for police accountability, that said killing, shooting should not be your first response. We should not be creating laws that say we will know who the officers are. They are city employees, and when they do something that is detrimental to the community or harmful or cause outcry, we should know the officers' names. We should also know their backgrounds like they put our backgrounds out, because we believe that they are professional killers. We believe that they are professional brutalizers, and we believe that it should stop.